black people are allowing Hector to get away with being racist. Hector and Maria. And I don't want that to happen. I want everyone to be held accountable. Because if white people is held accountable, white people can't say the N-word, then nobody should say the N-word and everyone should be held accountable. So that is my long-term goal for this channel, is that black people hold everyone accountable for racism and not just white people. Because Latinos, Indians, and Arabs have been in black communities for decades while being racist, while taking their money at the stores and businesses, but deep down inside, they don't like you. But they're not being held accountable for racism. They're able to say the N-word. I've heard Arabs in the corner store talking with black guys, calling each other the N-word. You view them as your friends. You view Hector as your friend. He's allowed to say the N-word. But a white person you view as your enemy? Well, I hate to be the barrier of bad news, and I hate to break it to you. I have an assignment for you black people in the Americas. Once you're finished watching this video, go to Google and type this in: Spanish people enslave black people in America. And you will see that Latinos was the first one to enslave you. Before the transatlantic slave trade, there was 2 boats from Africa. First was the Spanish, known as Latinos, because you all who your ancestors are, right? So the Latinos, who are the Spaniards, that's why they look white. They enslaved you first, but they were the first ones to enslave you. Go type that in on Google. Spanish people enslave black people in America.
So I woke up early this morning and I was like, oh, I woke up early, it's going to be a nice day. And then I go on Twitter and I see this fucking foolishness. So apparently the LA Council President, Nuri Martinez, referred to a fellow council member's young black son as ese changuito, or little monkey, in a leaked audio tamed by the Times. And apparently the other people that were also Latino insulted black people. This is not a new issue if you are in the Latin community. You know that Latinos can be super racist against black people. You know Latinos are colorists, with light-skinned Latinos being the ideal and dark-skinned Latinos or Afro-Latinos being unattractive. If you are a Latino and you think that lighter-skinned Latinos are prettier, if you have a problem with Afro-Latinos not actually being Latino, or if you are using the N-word, first of all, fuck you. And second of all, why do you do that? Look at yourself. Why do you think that way? Why do you say those things? It's rooted historically from the Spanish colonizers that you want to disassociate so hard from, because they were the ones that implemented colorism. They had a whole caste system in Mexico with light-skinned Spanish born in Spain at the top, and at the bottom, indigenous people and slaves. So you need to ask yourself why you're doing those things. Look at yourself. I don't know what more I can do besides call out my own community, because this is my community's issue and I do not stand for it.
I want to talk about this post that I saw, because I saw way too many people that chose to be defensive instead of take accountability. But you know what's interesting? From every response that I saw, nobody sounded surprised. They just wanted to deflect. What about what the black community is doing right now? What about the attack on street vendors? What about the one black person that was mean to my family member? All of those are real issues, but the people that are creating harm do not represent the entire black community. Just like the problematic Latinos don't represent all of ours. We can ask for accountability together, and we should 100% expect members of our community to do better.
Tell me somebody's colorist without saying they're colorist.
Latinos are colorists, period. And this is not me being shady or, being against Latinos. I'm Latina, but this is completely true. If a baby is born, everybody expects that baby to be white. If it's not white, people are gonna say, ay, está feo. Or they're not gonna call it ugly, but they're gonna call it they're gonna assume he's not pretty just because he's not white. I've received comments before saying, oh my god, you shouldn't go out in the sun because you're gonna get very dark. And this is something I had to unlearn because dark skin is beautiful. But I will always hear these comments, she or he, they are pretty, but they're morenos. They are a darker skin tone, so they're not as pretty. And also, if you pay attention in all the telenovelas, in all the shows, who are the protagonists? Yes, white people, white Latinos. What about the brown people? They are usually the maids, people who clean the house, the jardineros and stuff. So you cannot argue against me. Latinos are some of the most colorist people out there.
And another thing I would like to say, you are not being oppressed as black people in the Americas. What happened is you have been replaced with Latinos. They are given your jobs and resources. So that's why it seems like no one's not doing anything for you, because they're giving it to another group, and that group is Latinos. That's what happened. You're not being oppressed, you have been replaced.
Cuando dices simio, ¿a quién te refieres?
A Francia Márquez.
Ah, ok.
A Francia Márquez es un simio.
¿Por qué simio?
¿Qué educación puede tener un negro?
Ah, para ti los negros no estudian.
Los negros roban, atracan y matan. ¿Qué educación tienen?
Los blancos no.
No, no mucho.
No, la mayoría son los negros. ¿Por qué saliste hoy a manifestarte?
That racist woman is talking about Francia Marquez, our new vice president, who happens to be the first black woman to be vice president in Colombia. Literally, since the beginning of her running for vice president, the election process, etc., she's had to put up with racist comments from white supremacists like this white lady. People have compared her to a monkey, they've compared her to King Kong, they've said that she's uneducated, a criminal, have made false allegations against her because she is a black woman, and that's literally it. I really hate when some Colombianos say that.
What's up, guys? This is gonna be my last post. I'm glad you guys are enjoying my weird ass personality. Happy to entertain you. But I just had to say something. I've gotten some DMs regarding the video I posted about the black creator who was saying that they don't want our support. So many DMs about, that's not unity, we gotta stick together. All right, let me tell you why you're wrong. First of all, like I said, us among ourselves, so racist, okay? And I know, I've heard so many Hispanics be so racist to other black people. Okay? That's one. Two, there is no trust. Like none. Like just because we're a shade closer to them doesn't mean they have to trust us. Like at all. I like to compare it to kind of an abusive relationship, right? Where you can only get away with doing so much to a person before they turn around and lose all faith and trust in you within that relationship. That, to me, is the allegorical relationship between Latinos and black people, okay? We have proven time and time again that they cannot rely on us, that we don't stick up for them, that we hate ourselves for our proximity to them. But y'all don't understand why they don't trust us, why they don't really want us to stand behind them. Not to mention, we can't go to someone else's house and clean up their mess if our house is a mess. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, rather than get upset and riled up and, be defensive, like I said, listen. Do some self-reflecting, clean up your own shit yourself, right? If you have children, teach them these things. Make sure that the next generation after us doesn't grow up to be racist. And then maybe the relationship that we have with our black brethren, our sisters, will improve. But until then, it's not going to happen. It's just not. So Hopefully that clears some shit up.